Welcome to another video, everyone. Today I wanted to take a look at Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on my RX 7900 XTX. So this will be the first time I look at the game on one of my Radeon GPUs, and I'm actually very excited to see how this game runs. We're going to focus on the Game Pass version of the game, 4K first and then 1440p. No spoilers, we're just going to look at the first and second area of the game. And unfortunately, there is no FSR or XeSS in the game yet. I think the developer said they're going to be bringing FSR with an update. And the only way you have to upscale as of right now is resolution scaling. But for whatever reason, that is grayed out for me on the Game Pass version. Now, thanks to NVIDIA, who gave me a key for the Steam version, we can take a look at the settings on that. And as you can see in the Steam version of the game's graphical settings, the resolution scaling can be changed, turned on and off. So I'm not sure what's up with the Game Pass version of the game. Another setting that was different between the two versions was that the Game Pass version doesn't have a full screen mode, just borderless window and window, whereas Steam has those and a full screen mode. And I thought that maybe that had something to do with the resolution scale being grayed out, but no, because even if I set it to borderless window on Steam, I could still use the resolution scale setting. So yeah, that's what it is. But as you can see here, right, I personally wouldn't even bother using FSR even if it was available, because I mean, we're getting already 80 FPS in the game. Looks fantastic with all the settings maxed out, and it's extremely fluid. As you can see, that's a very nice looking frame time, and for a game like this, 80 FPS is plenty, at least for me. Yeah, the game is very well optimized. I mean, it uses ray trace global illumination by default and demands hardware ray tracing capable hardware anyway, and we're getting solid performance. Now the other thing too is FSR. Like I mentioned, it's supposed to be coming, but the fact that it's not here is not cool, because that is an upscaling method that a lot of people use to get more FPS. Even though the game is well optimized, that still doesn't justify not having it. Another thing as well worth mentioning is that the full ray tracing or path tracing settings don't show up at all for Radeon GPUs. It's as if the day one patch never happened. Now, my feelings on this are that I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of settings being locked away only for certain vendors in this particular way, right? It's not really the direction I want to see the industry head towards. Now that said, if I was to share my opinion, is that even if those settings were available for Radeon GPUs currently, I don't think it would be worth it to even bother trying, although it would be interesting from an academic perspective. Every time I've tried path tracing of any kind on my 7900 XTX, which is the fastest current Radeon GPU, right? The hit to performance is so massive that you have to use extremely aggressive forms of FSR or target a much lower resolution, that the end result, image quality, it's just not worth it. It doesn't look better. And especially with this game, it would probably be even more demanding than all the other games, because it uses path trace global illumination, indirect illumination, sun shadows, subsurface scattering on foliage, full resolution ray trace reflections. It would just be very, very demanding. But the game does look very nice right now at 4K, and the game does use a ray trace global illumination anyway, because it demands hardware ray tracing capable hardware to play it. And as you can see, the 7900 XTX at native 4K with TAA does a really good job. Very nice, very fluid. Well, let's take a look at 1440p out of curiosity. We should be smashing it. So we was getting around 80 to 90 FPS at 4K. We'll drop to 1440p, and as you can see, all the other settings, everything is maxed out that we can max out that is available to us. And will you look at that? We're all the way up to 130, 120 FPS. So yeah, and very, very nice and smooth frame time. So yeah, 7900 XTX, you'll have a very, very nice definitely next gen experience with this game. So yeah, guys, I don't think it's really even worth looking into anything else, because we don't really need to tweak any settings. Thankfully, we have plenty of VRAM, because this game is VRAM hungry. And if you have a good amount of VRAM, you can max out all the textures. I mean, there's even console commands you can use. If you have more VRAM, you can improve the level of detail with distant objects too, to minimize the pop-in, which can be a bit distracting in this game, even with all the settings maxed out. We can do that with console commands. Benchmarking actually dropped a video yesterday, I believe, where it does go over this a little bit. And I think it's worth a watch, even if you have plenty of performance to spare, because, again, you can take things even further. So this is a proper PC game. But yeah, I guess to wrap the video up, it's going to be a short one today because, like I said, there's not much else to talk about. We can max out all the graphical settings that are available to us and we get very good playable performance. Now, I would like to see FSR added, and it is coming according to the developer, and I would also like to see the full ray tracing, path tracing settings be available for Radeon GPUs, because even though you may not be able to use them in any meaningful way with current Radeon hardware, right? The future, you never know what's coming, and PC games are usually the best version of a game from a preservation perspective, and I would like the game to be preserved with all the settings available to all types of GPU vendors for the future. And maybe that's coming. Maybe there's some exclusivity thing going on. I don't know. I've heard the opinions. Personally, I like to talk about things that can be proven, but also discuss different opinions and theories. I mean, that's kind of why I make these videos, is to engage in discussions with you guys. So yeah, feel free to share your thoughts down below, and most importantly, you know, be respectful about other people who have different opinions, because at the end of the day, it's not all that serious, right? It's video games, things that we're obviously passionate about, but the whole point is to have fun and enjoy the hobby and share it with everyone else that also enjoys the hobby. But yeah, despite the things that I'd like to see be changed in the game, for what it's worth, this is an exemplary PC version of a game. I mean, it scales way beyond what consoles can do. And even if you had the best NVIDIA hardware currently with the path tracing, yes, you can run it. I'm able to play the game on my RTX 4090 with all the path tracing maxed out. You have to use DLSS balance at 4K. The game still looks really, really nice, but you can tell that those settings are also targeting future hardware, more powerful hardware. And that is something I love to see with PC games. You don't have to max out all the graphical settings on your current hardware, but I want to see settings that can take advantage of future hardware, because that makes the game better from a preservation perspective, right? It's a type of game that you would go back to and play again when you get more powerful hardware, right? That's one thing I love about PC gaming, is when I upgrade hardware, I like to go back and take a look at the games that I had a bit of trouble running and play them again now in an enhanced state. So this is one of those games, and I like to see that. I wish every PC version of a game was like this, that could scale way beyond what consoles can do, instead of just being a PC port of a console version of a game, maybe with some bigger tweaks or a couple of enhanced settings. I don't want it to be just, you know, higher resolution or native resolution. I like to see, give me path tracing, give me ray tracing, give me everything you can, essentially. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you have a 7900 XTX, you'll have an amazing gameplay experience with this game. No problem, whether it be native 4K or 1440p. The game runs great. But what do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Let me know. I appreciate you guys watching. Please give the video a like if you did like it. It helps me out. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.